What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, you and I are going to review some of the training, some of the nutrition, and some of the mindset of one of my personal favorite comedians, Sebastian Maniscalco. Now, Sebastian recently did a whole video about his training and nutrition with Men's Health. I'm not going to review the whole thing. There are just a few parts that I want to discuss, namely binge eating and secret eating when you're eating in private and you don't want other people to know, your metabolism and how much or if it even declines as you age, and also the role of mobility as you get older. If you like this video and you want to see more, I've done others with Jennifer Garner's nutrition, Jamie Foxx's workout nutrition advice, Mark Wahlberg, many other people. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and check my other videos out as well if you want more of the same. With that being said, let's get into Sebastian Maniscalco's training and nutrition.
I'm Italian, so I'm constantly foraging for food. I've been known to go in the garage and sneak a meal in the garage. Some men cheat on their wife. I don't. But what I hide is my meals in the garage. I'm 50 years old and I'm in the garage eating a Chipotle, for Christ's sake.
Now, when I first saw this clip, my jaw dropped, mainly out of admiration, because when people are secret eaters and they're eating in private, it's usually something they do alone and they are not confident enough to speak about. Sebastian is making this comical and funny because he's a stand-up comedian and he's a funny guy, but the truth of the matter is this is a very, very big problem that many people struggle with that massively impacts not only their relationship with food and health, but also their relationship with other people. When you feel guilty and shameful about eating and you go do it in private, there's a lot of problems that we have to discuss and uncover for you to improve your relationship with food. And I love that he's being so open and honest about this, because the vast majority of times that people are struggling with secret eating, they're not talking about it. They're not open about it. They're not telling other people. And this is actually one of the reasons why many people will say, well, I don't know why that person struggles with their weight. I watch what they eat at work all the time. They eat next to nothing. They should be a lighter weight. Well, you don't know what they're eating in secret. You're not with them all the time. This even happens with spouses. I have spouses who are talking to me saying, I don't know what's going on. They barely eat. I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, they might be waking up at 2 in the morning and binge eating when you're not there. They might be literally going in a closet, going in the garage and eating when you're not seeing. No matter how much trust and openness you and your partner might have, there's a very real possibility that they are doing things you don't know about, not because they want to lie to you, but because they have deep-seated shame and guilt around it. What I would say here is, number one, again, thank you to Sebastian for simply voicing this. I don't think he meant to do this in a way that is helpful to people. Maybe he did. If he did, that's fantastic. But I think he was just being open and honest, and his openness and honesty here is probably gonna make a lot of people feel better about themselves and know that they're not alone. When we're trying to get over secret eating, when we're trying to get over binge eating, I think the most important step to begin with is knowing that you're not alone. The worst part about this is when you're out there, when you're in the garage, when you're in the closet, when you're eating by yourself, you hate yourself for it. You don't want to be doing that. And so you're doing it and you feel like you're alone, you feel like no one will understand, and it just makes the problem worse and worse and worse. I would say if you can speak to a therapist about it, if you can be open and honest about it, the number one most important thing after doing all of that is understanding that you can overcome it and that it will be difficult, but if you can, stop eating in private, which logically it sounds, it's like obvious, yeah, stop eating in private. When you go out there and do it in private, you are perpetuating the shame and guilt cycle. You inherently think you're doing something wrong. It's okay to have that in front of your family, in front of your friends. If they make comments, that's on them, not on you. We can work on developing and improving your relationship with food, but as long as you're continuing to eat in secret and private, it's gonna be much more difficult to actually make this change because you're keeping it secret and private. Bring it out in the open, and then from there we can really start to address it.
I'm getting a little bit older. I used to just kind of eat what I want and the weight used to fall off. I used to eat a half a pound of pasta before I went to bed with butter and cinnamon. Now we can't do that anymore.
I've never heard of anyone having pasta with butter and cinnamon. Part of me thinks it sounds terrible. The other part of me thinks it would be amazing. Either way, what I want to discuss now is specifically this idea that as you get older, you can't be eating as much. He discusses later in this video how the weight used to just fall right off, but now that he's older, it doesn't do that anymore. This is based on the idea that as you get older, your metabolism slows down and you're just going to gain a lot of fat and you can't eat what you used to anymore. more, it's actually not the case. Your metabolism will slow down as you get older, but recent research and recent very well performed research has shown us that your metabolism really doesn't change from your 20s into your 60s. After you hit your 60s, you will see a mild, very moderate drop annually. What research still hasn't really determined, and what I would imagine, is that what happens if you continue strength training? What happens if you continue building muscle? What happens if you continue to have a healthy and active lifestyle? My thoughts around this are, if you continue strength training, if you continue having an active and healthy lifestyle, your metabolic drop will not be much, if at all, and if it is, it'll be very insignificant. Since he's 50, I can almost guarantee you his metabolism hasn't really dropped much. What I can probably guess is happening is his lifestyle has changed a lot from when he was younger. Not only younger, but also didn't have nearly as much money, which it actually makes a big difference, and I want you to think about it. If you have more money and you have more financial means, then you can order food to be delivered to you. He spoke about in this video how he has a nanny to help out with his kids, which is wonderful. But if you don't have a nanny, then you've got to run after your kids all the time. You're watching them instead of the nanny watching them. Even if you can just order Uber Eats versus you going to the grocery store, getting all the food, cooking it yourself, this is all extra movement that you would be getting. Whereas when you have more money and when you get older, generally you slow things down. You're not moving as much. You might have more money and more means to pay for people to do things for you. I guarantee you it's less about him getting older and more about his lifestyle that has come with him getting older and being more successful. That is why it's much more difficult for him now to keep the weight off. He spoke about later in this video how it's drinking a lot of wine and how he's eating a lot of these foods. He now has access to more food and he has to move less. Regardless of income, generally we have to move less as a society. Whether it's you can drive to and from work, a lot of us are stay-at-home workers now, where you don't even have to go into an office. Think about how many fewer steps you're getting throughout the day because you're not walking your car, you're not walking throughout the office building, you're not going out to get lunch, you're not going on these walks around the office saying hello to people. It might not seem like much, but it adds up over time. What I really want to clarify here is this is a very common trope, the idea that as you get older, your metabolism drops, and this is a very defeatist mentality because then you decide, well, why even bother to try? If my metabolism drops anyway, why even bother to try? Your metabolism isn't dropping, most likely. If you're continuing to strength train, which he is, if you're continuing to move and get your steps in, which it looks like he is, you can still lose weight, you can still build muscle, you can still maintain a very high metabolic rate, a normal, healthy metabolic rate, without worrying about it dropping too much. So that's it. I like everything that he said, but it is important for you to know odds are your metabolism is not dropping. And what I will say is this, if you think your metabolism is dropping, go to your doctor and ask for a metabolic cart test. Ask to get your blood work done. Many people talk about, oh, my metabolism is slow, my metabolism is slow. They've never actually had it checked. They just say that word. Most people don't know what metabolism even means. It's just the sum of all the chemical processes in your body. It's what keeps you going. And so if you're just spouting off, oh, my metabolism is slow, my metabolism is slow, without knowing what it is, or without having yours test, you can get it tested. Test yours and see where it is. If it comes back normal, you're good. If there's an issue like PCOS or something else, then you can address that through medication to bring your hormones back to a normal level. Most people, you're good.
I never really used to stretch because I would literally walk into the gym.
Really quick, his mobility, at least his passive mobility like we're seeing here, is very impressive. He's got very impressive hamstring and hip mobility.
Walk into the gym and start hitting biceps and chest and whatnot. But as I gotten a little bit older, you got to stretch and warm up your muscles, which a good portion of the workout actually getting me ready for the workout. Generally speaking, workout about 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, take Saturday and Sundays off. You know, maybe do something active with the kids, or Lana and I will play some pickleball or go for a hike.
What I love about what he's doing in this segment and talking about in this segment is how important mobility is to him. And he talks about it a little bit later in the video as well. He doesn't care about having the biggest chest. He spoke about how he used to be just bench pressing all the time and slapping weights on the bar. Now he just wants to feel good and he wants to move and he wants to be around for his kids and his family. He said he's 50, he's got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. He spoke about in the video how men in his family have died from sudden heart attacks just around his age. He just wants to be mobile and healthy and live a long life, which I very much relate to. I'm only 33, I know I'm very young. As I'm having my daughter, God willing, my next daughter is on the way in the next 2 months or so, I'm thinking, I'm having the same thoughts. I just want to live a long, healthy, happy life. I don't really care about being shredded, I don't care about being jacked, I don't care about having the biggest deadlift. I just want to be healthy and move well. To see him, how mobile he is here is actually really extraordinary. I'm in the end of the industry, the fitness industry, that talks a lot about strength training, often will minimize or reduce the importance of mobility mobility, and I'm trying to rectify that. If you've been following me recently, I've been talking a lot about my mobility journey, how I've gotten the front splits, or I'm very close to getting the front splits, and how much more important mobility is to me. In my end of the fitness industry, we talk so much about strength and how it's important, which it is. Strength without mobility is useless. Like, we talk about, you want to be able to pick up your grandkid. Yeah, if you can pick up your grandkid, that's super important. You might be strong enough to do it, but do you have the mobility to bend down and pick your grandkid up? If you don't have that mobility, then you can't actually display your strength. What I've noticed working with people from all the way from teenager all the way into 70s, 80s, 90s, thousands of people all over the world, is if you only focus on one and you neglect the other, it's going to be a big problem. And I've never actually seen someone as they get older regret training mobility, ever. It's the first thing that I hear an older person talk about, regretting not training more. Now, obviously strength is important for bone density and reducing your risk of dying from a fall, breaking a hip, and just overall being strong enough. Your grip strength is an important indicator of your health and longevity. We have a whole video about that if you want to watch the grip strength video. A lack of mobility, especially as you age, is a major detriment and major risk factor for overall mortality and for your health. His focus on mobility just makes me really happy. And it also, I like his mindset around, it's less about how he looks and more about his health. The truth of the matter is, especially on social media, it's very easy to make sensationalized content around one training modality. This is the one you need to do. All others suck. Pilates doesn't count, or this doesn't count, or that doesn't count, when the reality is having a more balanced approach is the best option. Having some mobility, having some strength, having some cardio, they're all important. So rather than only promoting one and demonizing all the others, how about we just promote all of them and do them all in a well-designed program? Which leads me to my pitch for the Inner Circle, which is my own training and nutrition program. I have a whole app that you can join if you want to be in there. I have strength workouts, I have cardio workouts, I have mobility workouts. I have them all combined into one if you'd prefer to do that. I have them for your home, I have them with body weight, I have them for dumbbells, I have them for full gym access. We have not only all the workout stuff, we have nutrition tracker in there as well, so we tell you exactly how many calories to have for fat loss, for maintenance, for muscle gain, how much protein, how much fiber to have. It's a one-stop shop for everything you need, health and fitness, and we're constantly working to improve it. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description of this video. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Sebastian Maniscalco for putting this video out. When his men's health video started, he was like, I don't know what you're doing here. I'm not the most fit person. I actually think we took a lot from this video. We'll put the link to the original video in the description for you to watch as well if you want to see his whole segment. It was much longer and a little bit more in depth. I think he did a wonderful job, and I appreciate him going out of his way to discuss this and share his lifestyle, because it is very relatable, much more relatable than the people who are very famous and fitness is their life, right? He's just a regular dude who happens to also be one of the most famous comedians in the world. Thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon.